Happy New Year!
You ready to start the year?
Yeah. Let's do it.
Leave all the bad in 2021. This is a new you.
Please.
New you.
Yes.
Okay, so are you feeling bloated? Is this the first exercise in 2022?
No, I've been doing a yoga thing every day. ADN?
Yeah.
She did that yoga thing, so I've actually done that. That's the only thing I've done, but that's quite good.
Yeah, but it's flexibility. It's good. Mobility is what we need.
Yeah, I need to start running again, but I haven't done that yet. It's just too hectic.
I started that on Boxing Day. After Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, I had to go running again.
Oh, brilliant. No, we've had COVID. I haven't, but just haven't gone anywhere.
Oh, well, shall we get started then? Let's all get you back on. If you want to stay on or come off the camera, that's fine. You don't have to be on the camera. So we're going to start in the mountain pose. I'd just like to say, if anyone's new, my name's Michelle and welcome and thank you for joining today. So we're going to start off, we're going to stand up, feet hip distance apart. Make sure we're standing tall, facing forward, and we're going to go into the mountain pose. Arms out, palms facing forward, close our eyes, and I just want you to take a minute and just slow down and just focus on your breathing. When that minute ends, I will count down from 5. So to begin, 3, 2, 1, and breathe. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly open your eyes and let's take 2 deep breaths in and out. One more. Let's get some fresh oxygen to those muscles. We're going to go into the salute, so arms over your head into a prayer. Look up and take 2 deep breaths in and out, feeling that stretch in your midline. Face facing forward now in front, arms apart, lean to the left. Feel that stretch down the side. Come back to the center and to the other side. Come back to the center. Now we're going to focus on the upper body first of all. So as you've been sitting at your desk all morning, we're going to start by rotating our shoulders. So just rotate going forwards. You can have your arms bent like me or you can be straight. I just feel comfortable myself if I bend my elbows. Now go the opposite way. So we're just loosening up those shoulders. Come back to the center. And I just very slowly, just go side to side. I just want to loosen up the obliques. Come back to the center. Arms out in front, chin to chest, and we're going to do what's called dives. So chins to the chest, and when we breathe in, we're going to pull our shoulders forward. And then when we breathe out, relax. Then we bring our face up and we bring our shoulders back level. Okay, we'll do 3 of them together. So arms out in front, straight, chin to chest. Deep breath in, shoulders forwards. That's it, reach those arms out. And then relax those shoulders, face up. 2 more times. One more time. Okay, just roll those shoulders back a bit. Now we're going to do 3 cat-cows standing up. So chin to chest, shoulders forward, arms forward. So as if you're going to take me on like into a wrestle. So breathe in. And then as we breathe out, bring those arms out. Slowly, slightly bending those elbows, chest up, face forward. Let's do that 2 more times. Okay, come back to the centre. Just give your arms a shake. Let's stretch the shoulders. So right arm across the body, left arm just underneath, supporting. Change to the other side. Come back to the centre. We're going to do shoulder W's. So we're working on the trapezius, 2 big shoulder muscles at the back here. So with the shoulder W's, bring your arms up like I have, from palms facing forward. Elbows are going to be close, like glue, if you can, to your obliques. Okay. And what we're going to do is when we breathe in, we're going to bring our shoulders forward, and you can feel your shoulder muscles at the back parting. And then when we come back, bring the shoulders back, you can feel your shoulder blades meeting. So let's do that together 4 times. So stand tall, look up, and let's go. So shoulders forward and back. Focus on your breathing and make sure the elbows are close to your obliques as can be. Hopefully you've got 1 more left if you're in timing with me. And just relax, just give everything a shake. We're now just going to do some wrist stretching because you've been hammering on those keyboards. So right arm out, fingers up, and with the other hand, we're going to put our fingers on the front of the hands and just slightly, we don't have no pain in this session, just slightly feel that stretch. Let's now change to the other hand. Again, no pain, there should be no pain in this session. And come back to center. Roll those wrists and the other way. Continuing with the wrists, we'll go into a prayer with the elbows up so they're level with your wrists. So fingers are pointing up. And then what we're going to do is very slowly, as we breathe in, bring our fingers towards the ground. And then as we breathe out, come back to the center. Let's do that 2 more times and take it very slowly. And 1 more time. And just roll those wrists and the other way. Come back to the center. Just give everything a good shake on those arms. We have been working them and the shoulder blades. So a little bit of a stretch. And now just do a squat and half a circle, doing a big circle with those arms, squat and then half a circle going forward. Let's do it 1 more time either way. So squat, half a circle, squat, half a circle going forwards. We're now going to work our way down towards the hips. So let's just roll those hips because we want to loosen any stresses in the lower back as well. Roll the other way. Sitting down too long, you are prone to tight hips, so we would want to loosen them up as much as possible. Come back to the center and now lift your right knee up and then out to the side and down. So up, out to the side and down. 1 more time either side. Up, out to the side and down. Up, out to the side and down. We're now going to make our way down to the floor, and I will do some further work on the hips when we are down on the floor. So if we can slowly get ourselves in position for downward dog. If you haven't done that before, then just to warm up your lower back, that's for all of us at any level, I first of all want to do some forwards bends and reach, and to do that we have our arms out to the side, okay, and when we breathe in we'll come down to our waist, and then as we breathe out come up, and you might feel that your hamstrings are stretching as well when we're doing that, but the focus of us doing that is just to loosen the lower back so it's not in shock when we go straight into downward dog. So arms out, and we're going to do this 3 times together. So breathe in, only to waist level, and out, come up. Breathe in, and breathe out. One more time. Breathe in, and breathe out. Okay, hopefully we've helped the lower back there. So now make sure your feet are hip distance apart. And we're very slowly going to work our hands down towards the floor. Soften the knees, okay? And when I say soften, I mean bend, okay? But I will use the word soften. So we'll soften the knees, just wait here for a little while. And then very slowly we're going to walk halfway, so we're into a V shape. Our head has to be in between our shoulders. And like me, if your heels have lifted off the ground as you went forward, that's because you've got tight hamstrings. So not to worry, what we'll do there is we're going to slowly walk those heels in the air, just giving our hamstrings and calves a little stretch. Now don't force those heels, just very gently walk them in the air, so just enough so you can feel a stretch down the back of your legs. Now we're going to walk forward into a plank. Okay, stay up on our hands. Now, if this is too much, you can drop the knees. You're still planking, okay? Very slowly, drop your whole body towards the floor. And then on your elbows, come up, lift your chest up, face forward. If you feel that you need to stretch a bit more here, because we're focusing on our abs, and your back is strong enough and you are a regular of yoga or Pilates and use that position, you can do the cobra where you come up and your arms are straight. But don't do that if you're not used to it, because you could do some damage to your back. So from here, let's just take 2 deep breaths in and out. Come up on your hands and knees. Make sure your knees are hip distance apart. Hands are slightly forward. Okay, and what we're going to do is stretch out our spine. So we're going to lean forward and then we're going to come back. But we're not going to sit on our heels. We're just going to go forward and back. And you can feel that stretch down your back, shoulders and arms. Let's just do that a few more times. Just go with your breathing. This is a good one to do that's say like mid-morning or mid-afternoon if you feel that you haven't had a break since you first logged on, just to ease any stresses in your lower back. Now let's just go into tabletop position and we're going to do bird dog. So we're going to focus on the posture with our spine. So we're going to put our right arm out straight, left leg out straight. And we're going to go with our breathing. So when we breathe in, we lift up the arm and opposite leg. As we breathe out, we come back to the center and then we do the opposite side. So now if you get in position, come with me and then just spend a few seconds just going opposite arm to opposite leg. Don't rush it. Just do one more either side. Okay, come back to tabletop position. Now, keeping the knees hip distance apart, hands shoulder distance apart. We're going to do cat-cow. So I'm focusing on the spine and the abs here. So when we're doing the cat, we're going to put our chin to chest, arching the spine as high as we can. So you can either breathe in, some people find it easier to breathe in and then breathe out when they're doing the cow, but others have been trained in yoga that when they're going up with the spine, that they're breathing out all the air out, and then when they're going into the cat, which is the chin out, bum out, belly towards the floor, to breathe in. So do what's comfortable for you. So chin to chest, arch that spine as high as you can, so it's in like an arch. And then chin out, bum out, belly towards the floor. Let's do this 2 more times. This is another good one to do mid-morning or mid-afternoon. That's it. And 1 more. Come back to the center. And then just go side to side with the hips. Toes, come back to the center again, toes together, knees apart. We're going to go into what's called a child pose. Sit back on the heels, head towards the floor, stretch those arms out. And from here, just take 3 deep breaths in and out. Walk those hands towards the knees, sit up, and then arms up, soften the elbows, face forward. And from here, we're going to open up the digestive system. So let's take 2 deep breaths in and out. Come back to the center. Now we're going to stretch the hip flexors. So we're going back to the hips. So left leg forward. Knee does not go over the toes. And the back leg is the right is slightly at an angle because that's the hip flexor we're going to stretch. Hands on the front knee. Chest up, face forward. Deep breath in. And as we breathe out, just lean forward slightly to feel that stretch in that hip flexor. Okay, let's swap to the other side. Okay, make sure again the knee, on the right knee, does not go over your toes. Chest up, face forward, deep breath in. And as we lean forwards, we can feel that left hip flexor stretch. Come back to the center. We're going to stay on our knees. And what we're going to do here is still work on the hips. Bring our right leg out. Come up on your toe. Point your toe up. And you feel that stretch in your right hip. Come back to the center. And now we're going to put our left foot out. Stretching the left hip. Do that 1 more time, either side. Just take your time, get balance. Right leg out. Come back to the center and to the other side. Okay, we're now going to make our way onto the floor and we're going to lay down and do a full body stretch. So, arms out over your head. And take a deep breath in and out, feeling the stretch from our fingertips to our toes. Bring the left knee in for a hug, right leg 1 inch off the ground. And what we're doing is stretching that right hip. Let's swap now, hugging the right leg. Left leg 1 inch off the ground. Both knees in now for a hug, but make sure they're hip distance apart because we want to open up the hips and gently rock side to side. What we're doing here is we're massaging the 2 big muscles in our back. Feet up in the air and let's roll those ankles. Get the blood rushing back down to our brain and roll the other way. If you're comfortable enough, we're going to get the right foot Bring it over so it's in front of the left knee, and we're going to focus on stretching the right glute. Put our hands round the left thigh, making sure our shoulders and head is still on the floor. And as we breathe in, just gently bring in that left thigh, and we'll feel that stretch in our right glute. Let's swap legs. Bring the feet down, feet close to our bum, knees hip distance apart, arms down the side, and we're going to do bridge. So bridge is when we're going to lift our bum up and then down. And we'll do that 5 times. So here we're going to de-stress our spine, stretch the glutes, and work on our pelvic muscles. So 3, 2, 1, let's go. Breathe in and breathe out. In and out. 3 more. In and out. 2 more. In and out. 1 more. In and out. Okay, so now put our knees together, arms out to the side, knees to the right, face to the left, and feel that stretch down your spine. Slowly bring your knees over to the left, face over to the right. I'm going to do that 1 more time either side. So come back to the center. So knees to the right, face to the left.